What's happening, people? Welcome to the first episode of my stream that I'm going to be calling A Case for the Blues, or in this instance, A Case of the Blues, as Chelsea lose their first home game of the season 2-0 to Man City. I'm Case, for those that don't know. For those that do know me, I've been watching streams and YouTube channels of club accounts and people following, like doing fan cams and streaming things to do with their club in pre-match predictions, post-match reviews, and debates with their pals. And it's become like a hobby of mine. So I thought, you know what, fuck it, let me go get a webcam and try it for myself. So that's literally what I've done. Got a webcam, set it up. So my setup's a little bit behind at the moment. I would have posted yesterday, but I had some technical issues. First technical issues. Laptop sounded like it was going to explode, so probably need a new laptop. Probably need a new mic. I'll end up sorting everything out behind the background and stuff, and trying to get that sorted and everything you need to get a YouTube channel going properly. But yeah, I thought, why not? Let's give it a go, and hopefully I'll be able to grab a few lads out of the group chat where we have our big debates and try and get them on live. That would be good. Eventually, the aim is to start doing some live streams, some pre-match interviews, and not interviews, but pre-match predictions and stuff, and just see where it goes. I mean, at the moment, like I said, just a hobby. But I'm up for some footballing debates. So yeah, 2-0 Man City. Overall feeling of the game, disappointed. I felt like this was probably a good opportunity for Chelsea to get a result, in terms of City normally start slow in the season. They haven't really had a long pre-season, missing a key player in Rodri, missing a player in form in Oscar Bob, which is that's an unfortunate injury for him, because it really looked like it was going to be a breakout season for him. So I'd imagine I went into this game week thinking, well, I had some optimism, and I thought, you know what, we had a chance. I actually predicted a 2-1 win. I mean, if you looked at our pre-season, you would think, what's going through this geezer's mind? But I don't know. I felt good. I felt like we had a chance. We went into it with a pretty strong lineup, and other than one player, that lineup's the same lineup that I would have gone with. Tell a lie, two players. One of them being the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. I'm not his biggest fan. Everyone that knows me knows I'm not his biggest fan. I probably would have gone with the new goalkeeper, but I haven't seen enough of him to really make that confirmed decision. The other one was the obvious surprise that I think surprised everyone, even Raheem Sterling himself, and that was his admission. I thought we would have gone with Sterling, considering that he always seems to turn up against City and bag a goal. And the player that I would have dropped would have been Caicedo. Only reason being is when I watched the pre-season games that he did get minutes in, I thought he was just a little bit off the boil. I just thought he wasn't ready yet to come back and get into the swing of things, especially in such a big game against City. But the team selection was what it was. Sterling obviously not selected in the squad at all, which has led to his camp coming out saying that they want some clarification on his position in the team. I get it. If you're Raheem Sterling, you know, he's getting old. Not you know what I mean by getting old in terms of football. So if he's getting mixed signals from Chelsea, he's going to want to know where his future lies. But at the same time, I thought, you know, it's a bit premature to come out and make it public, It's game week 1. We've got a competitive squad. You didn't make this squad. Get on with it. Try and get into game week 2. But at the same time, when you look at players like Mudryk on the bench, you think, fucking hell, how's he not made it? And Mudryk has. But it is what it is. He went up with the lineup that he went up with. And to be honest, the game itself, I thought was a little bit. I mean, I said this about all the first games in that game week 1, underwhelming, because I think they're all coming back from pre-season and late to pre-season with the international breaks. They probably haven't had enough break considering the amount of games that they played last season. And then they've got to just try and drag themselves into it with get back into the swing of things. And I knew that a lot of the first initial games from all of the teams out there weren't going to be that good, especially with some players still not back in the fold completely. I mean, City, for example, not playing Foden was an example of that. And I just thought pretty average from both sides. With obviously City coming out on top with the 2 goals. I mean, the Haaland goal, Doku hits it into a dangerous area. Silva gets a toe on it, bounces to Haaland, and I'll be honest with you, what he did after that was what you want your striker to do. Beasted through, chipped the goalkeeper, and that's what makes him a good striker at the end of the day. And just so happened to be up against Cucurella when he done that after Cucurella gave it the big one during the years. I don't know why he did that, I'll be honest with you, because the one person you don't want to rattle the cage for is that man. Do you know what I mean? The one who's like smashing goal scoring records in his first season. I wouldn't have done that, but I think that goal could have been easily avoided. I thought when Doku switched to the left, he didn't have a good time on the right at all. Cucurella completely locked him up. He enjoyed himself a little bit more on his preferred side, and that cut in and then just whipping it, getting a little bit of space to just deliver the ball into a dangerous area is what Doku does, and you can see that's his preferred side. And obviously Bernardo Silva does what he does and gets the little flick on that was needed to go to Haaland and for him to finish it. And then we talk about the second goal. I know there's been a lot of in between that, but if we just focus on the goals for now, it's weak from the midfield. I'll be honest with you, Caicedo and Enzo, that's weak. I think Caicedo might have been on a yellow card at that time. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But Enzo, man, take him down. If you're not going to get near him, just clip his ankles. It's 83rd minute. Take the yellow. But part of me felt like in that scenario, maybe we would have benefited if Lavia was still on the pitch. He was having a great game, by the way. He was absolutely everywhere. I saw they posted his heat map after the game, and he was absolutely everywhere. I thought he was brilliant on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, the strike from Kovacic, it was all right, but Sanchez gets a good hand on that, and he's got to do better there, in my opinion. His positioning was a little bit funny there as well. And as I said, I'm not a very big fan of him. I mean, when De Zerbi's coming out before we signed him, saying publicly, we're not going to play this guy again because he makes too many mistakes and he's not learning from them mistakes, then you've got to question the thought process behind signing this goalkeeper. I don't get it. And even in that game, there was a moment in the game where he passed the ball out straight to KDB, probably one of the worst people you could pass the ball out to and give them an opportunity. This guy, without any pressure on him, straight to him. And I just don't get it. And he does it a lot. If you watch all the games last season, he does it a lot. He did it in the Arsenal game. Declan Rice, bang, smashed it straight in. And it cost us. And these are costly mistakes that he's making. And even when they're not costly mistakes, he's still making them mistakes in pretty much nearly every game that he plays, and it's a problem. It causes panic in the defence. There's no confidence in between the sticks, if you want to make it. If I want to be clear about it. But in terms of the rest of the defence, I thought Cucurella had a good game. I can see a good season coming from him. When he first signed for the club, I was over the moon because I thought he was great for Brighton. And then obviously that first season of his was a tough one, and he didn't really perform how I expected him to perform. So I think big season pending for him. He's obviously pushed Chilwell out of the team. Maresca's come out and said that he's probably not going to play, probably looking like he's on his way out. It is what it is, I'm afraid. I mean, Chilwell, he's too injury prone at the moment. And the games that he has been coming back in, I haven't been too impressed. But obviously, he's been a good servant for the club, won us a Champions League. But that's football for you, isn't it? I guess. But yeah, back to the two centre backs in the game. Now, it's been a long time since I felt comfortable watching my two centre backs play for Chelsea. It's been a hard season last year watching two centre backs play where you just think, fucking hell, what is going on here? And I mean, even in pre-season, watching Badiashile, I just thought, oh God, if we're going into the season with him, no chance of anything. And watching Wesley Fofana and Colwill in that game, I felt that I had a bit of confidence in them. They look good, and going forward, I think maybe this could be the partnership that does well. This certainly didn't look as shaky as we have been for a lot of the games. Gusto, I thought he had an okay game. I wouldn't say he was great, and I wouldn't say he was terrible. He just did a job to an extent on the day. I thought he did have a tough time against Doku. It's worth mentioning Savinho when he switched over to the right, by the way. That looks like a player that City have got there. Well, when he come on and when he swapped over to the right-hand side, he was giving Cucurella some grief. Good player, it looks like. Very pacey. And I don't know if he looked like he picked up a little bit of a knock. I don't know how serious that is, but he's one to look out for. We move on into the middle of the pitch. We had Lavia, Caicedo and Enzo in there. Now, Lavia, obviously, spoke about him. He was everywhere. He really impressed me. And hopefully that's a performance that we can look forward to in other games. And hopefully that's what we get from him. Caicedo, again, I still think he's trying to get back into it, into coming out of pre-season and getting back into fitness and match fitness and being ready. Wasn't his best game, wasn't his worst. Average again. Hopefully we see the performances that we got in the second half of the season from him, because I thought, although the price tag demands a lot from him, I thought we done all right the second half of last season. So hopefully that's what we get. Moving on to Enzo. Enzo, for me, he's a problem for me. In a sense, I kind of get the feeling that we're just trying to fit him into this team because we've paid a lot of money for him. Obviously, the money and the expectation. Obviously, he didn't put that price tag on himself. That's a problem that came from the board, but it's not matching. His performances aren't really matching what I'm expecting from a midfielder in Chelsea football team. I'm starting to think that it's a style issue, and the Prem might not be suited for him. I mean, he's definitely a good player. There's no doubt about it. I've seen him play for Argentina, and I've seen some bits for Chelsea where I think, you know what, yeah, he's a good player, but I just can't see it fitting. I don't see how it works. On the back of I can only name really when you look at last season, one game where I thought, oh, yeah, he was really good, and that was the first game of the season against Liverpool. Other than that, I'm struggling to tell you a game where I thought he really stood out. And on this game in particular, he had a lot of the ball. He kept it moving. But then in the moments where we needed that 100 million pound player who's going to step up to the mark, like I said, he didn't create his transfer fee. He messed it up. He had two good opportunities where he got in the box, and his first touch was just way off, and he felt a bit of contact from Savio on one of them and went down. I thought it was a little bit soft. I mean, if he had a good touch there, we might have got the penalty, but the touch just takes it away completely, and he kind of messed up that opportunity. And there was a couple of times he tried to pass the ball over the top to Jackson, and it just wasn't clicking. It wasn't his best game, and I think this is a big season for him in terms of what he does in this team. I mean, if we're bringing in the likes of João Felix, who we've signed today, then you got to start questioning how we fit in these players into this system. Who is the player that's going to get dropped? We've also got Pedro Neto, who we've recently signed. If we do go on to sign a striker, then that's another player that may need to be shuffled around. And at the moment, when there's players in there like Enzo who I feel we're not getting much out of them, you got to start thinking, well, maybe that's the one that does chop the bench. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but moving over to Nkunku, I thought he was one of our best. Well, he probably was our best player in pre-season. I thought we did okay. I don't think he had a massive impact on the game. And then if you move over to the right hand side with Palmer as well, you could see Palmer's not fully in it yet. He's not fully back. It wasn't one of his greatest games either. And then you can say the same for Jackson. The only thing for Jackson, the one thing I would say is he does make some positive runs. I mean, if he could fucking stay on side for once, I mean, he would have taken that. He took that goal and he finished it at the end of the day. But yeah, offside by a mile. And then he did have another opportunity where the ball was played over the top and he was falling backwards, but he gets a clean foot on it and he hits it straight at Ederson. It's just moments like that where you want a Haaland who's just going to go bang, goal. And we seem to be lacking that. So that brings me on to my next point. We're linked heavily with Osimhen. I'm not a fan of Osimhen personally because I've seen him play a couple of times, but I'm here to be proven wrong. I don't mind being proven wrong if it means a striker comes in and bags goals. I'll hold my hands up and say, you know what, Osimhen, well played, fair play, and make your mark on the team. But my first impressions on Osimhen is you're going to see them Timberland memes coming out because I can't see his touch. I don't know where it is. But prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. If we sign him, prove me wrong. I mean, I'm open to signing him. I wasn't before. I mean, the price tag is going to be quite heavy, but I am starting to feel like we need something up top, which is going to create a little bit of fear for the opposition's defence. Under this Maresca system that we've got so far, I mean, when you look at, if we take this back a little bit, I've waited a day to bring this out, so I've seen all the overreaction from the fans and some of the pundits, Mikel Obi coming out and ranting on TV. If we could get a striker that's going to put the ball in the back of the net consistently, and with the plays that Maresca has brought to this system, I think that Chelsea might have a good chance of doing well this season. I mean, I'm looking at it, and I know pre-season was you're looking at pre-season, you're going, oh God, this is the same shit, same defense, same rubbish. You kind of look at the City game and you go, you know what, we're attacking well and we're not putting the ball in the box and we're not finishing the goals. Same problem as last year. but the plays that we're doing, the build up, it seems a little bit smoother. It seems I'm liking what I'm seeing, and the players look a little bit more confident in the ball and confident in what they're doing. So I'm starting to sway towards thinking maybe we do need Osimhen, someone who's going to put a little bit of fear into the defence, the opposition's defence. I mean, when you look at Man City and you see Haaland in the box, you know for a fact that the defenders are standing there going, "Where is he? Where is he?" He gets the ball in the box, bang, goal, or he's causing a panic, and I think that's what we lack. I think we've got quite a good attacking intent, but we're lacking that killer who's just gonna, like your Drogba's, hold the ball up, turn, shrug off the defender, bang, in the net. And that's where I think we need to improve. But in terms of the first game of the season, again, I felt like we probably could have got something out of the game. We did have a lot of chances, to be fair. There was moments in the game where I felt we were the better team. There was moments in the game where I thought they were the better team. And ultimately, the moments where they were the better in the team, they capitalised and they got 2 goals. The moments where I felt like we were the better team, we didn't capitalise. And that's been quite a common theme for Chelsea over the last, well, I'd say last season. The seasons before that had been just poor. But overall, disappointed that we didn't get the results. But I think we've got to look at it and take some positives out of it. Lavia was looking like a really good addition to that squad, and we've got to take the positives, because the overreaction that we're seeing right now is a little bit, as I say, it's an overreaction. People need to chill out a little bit. It's game week 1. At the moment, it's a bit trendy for people to just keep moaning about Chelsea and what we're doing, the people that we're signing, how's it going to work, the training ground is. We've got Jamie Carragher chatting shit today about where's João Felix going to sit in the changing room. Give it a rest. I think we just need to, let it all unfold. As I said, I'm happy with the tactics that I'm seeing from Maresca at the moment. A lot of people were moaning in pre-season, they wasn't. But after that game, I don't think people should be pulling their hair out and getting a bit worried about what's going on. I just think going to the next game, that's Servette in the Europa Conference League, that gets underway. The more that we play, the more that this system we build on. And naturally, after one season of these players, we've got a lot of new players in this team, and they've spent last season pretty much building that bond together. I'm expecting to see a little bit more from them this season, even though there is a new manager, new system. Just hoping that we can do everything that I'm hoping for. Do you know what I'm saying? It's game week 1. It's a little bit early to start predicting stuff and like what I've been saying, creating this overreaction hype that everything's in the mud. If you had watched pre-season, you would have thought, yeah, okay, that was a much better performance. And it's kind of been building up game by game. So from the Inter Milan game till now, we've made small improvements, and the only thing that we can do is take that on board and go into the next game against Wolves away. Now, we already know that pressure's already on for Wolves away, because the meltdown will start again if we don't get a result. But we need to be looking at how we're playing and then seeing where we're going wrong. But Wolves away has got to be a game that we go into and we get 3 points, in my opinion. They beat us twice last year, so we've got to go there and get 3 points. There's no ifs or buts, in my opinion. So we've got to get our revenge there. But anyway, that's me for the first stream on A Case for the Blues. Leave your likes, leave your comments, spark up a debate, subscribe, do all that nonsense. And yeah, as the time goes on, hopefully these streams will become more frequent and we'll get this going. Should potentially do one on Thursday for the Servette game. We'll see how we go. I've got football that day and sometimes it's a bit long. But yeah, if not, it'll come out on Friday and then we'll do the Wolves one as well and we'll go from there. So yeah, peace.